After more here's the you could poke a stick at. The federal budget has been delivered ahead of an upcoming May election. If you don't want to trawl through thousands of words, here are 5 quick questions on the major announcements from tonight, including: let's start with one of the big announcements. What's happening with the fuel excise cut? From midnight tonight, Australia's fuel excise, aka the money you're giving to the government at the pump, will be halved from 44.2 cents per litre to 22.1 cents. So it's time to jump in the car and grab some petrol. Not so fast. The Treasurer warned the cut would have to filter through to the pump over the next 2 weeks. And then it relies on that cut being passed on, something the Treasurer said the consumer watchdog would keep an eye on to make sure these savings are passed on in full from retailers. Plus there's another caveat: it's temporary, just for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, the rate will go back up. But for a family with 2 cars, filling up once a week, the government estimates the cut could save them about $30 a week, or $700 over the next 6 months. What cash payments could I get? There are a few incoming cash injections, and they were all in the final document. They include a $250 cash payment for about 6 million Australians, pensioners, carers, veterans, job seekers and eligible self-funded retirees, among others. For about 6 million Australians, pensioners, carers, veterans, job seekers and eligible self-funded retirees, among others. Low and middle-income earners will get a bit back in their tax returns. There's a one-off $420 payment available from July 1st, while the Lamington, aka low and middle-income tax offset, stays for another year, which can put another $1,500 in your bank account. Low and middle-income earners will get a bit back in their tax returns. There's a one-off available from, while the Lamington, aka low and middle-income tax offset, stays for another year, which can put another in your bank account. But the key question is, do you qualify for any of this? Our income tax calculator can help you out. And while it's not the weirdest tax claim, if you needed a rapid antigen test for work, that's now a deduction. It's been backdated to July 1st last year. Some people will benefit from a direct cash payment, including carers. How is paid parental leave changing? So, right now, the government's paid leave scheme for new working parents gives an eligible carer 18 weeks on minimum wage, and 99.5% of the people using that are women. But there's also something called dad and partner pay, which is up to 2 weeks for partners of the main carer. In 2020-21, fewer than 90,000 people accessed those 2 weeks, which covers about 30% of births per year. Why? Part of the reason is partners can't take the government payment alongside paid leave from their workplaces, and that often translates to a disincentive for lots of dads. Now the schemes will be combined, giving a total of 20 weeks for families to use how they prefer, and single parents can get the same amount of time. The budget says it's hoped the change will help with equality and remove policy settings that defined primary and secondary carers. The plan has been given a line of March 1st next year to get going. What's happening with the PBS safety net? This is one for anyone who regularly hits that safety net threshold, and now around 2.4 million people will reach the cap earlier in the year. For most of us, the threshold figure drops from just over $1,542 to exactly $1,457.10 before those out-of-pocket costs are cut. If you own a concession card, that goes from $326.40 to $244.80. And for those on concessions, that adds up to about 12 fewer scripts per year. What happened to the beer excise cut? If you heard about this one floating around, maybe you were excited for a reduction at the pub. Earlier this year, 3 lobby groups launched a national campaign to cut the twice-yearly excise hike on draft beer. They were pushing for the levy on beer kegs to be slashed in half, from $70 to $35, especially as venues struggled through the pandemic. But it didn't pop up in this year's budget, except for one thing: venues pouring out growlers. That's essentially an oversized takeaway beer, poured straight from the keg at a brewery or pub. The government has given them a tax exemption on up to 10,000 litres a year.